Hello guys, and welcome to JazzedTutorials. This week on my channel I am showing you an embossed glitter text effect. That's right, it's an embossed glittery effect. We've done glitter text effects I believe on this channel before, but not this involved and not this awesome, in my humble opinion. You be the judge. So let's start off with our background. Now the background is going to be a paper texture, and I'm just doing this because I think it looks cool, but you guys can choose a texture that suits your liking to this tutorial. But you'll see through the video what you'll want to use for a texture anyway. So I just went to google.com, typed in paper texture, white rather, and got this lovely texture here. So we're gonna use this one here. It's very white to start with, but we're gonna edit that towards the end and you'll see what I'm talking about. So we're gonna type our text. Now you want to use a kind of bold cursive-y type font. I'm just using this font that I randomly found. It's called the Vanilla Daisy, but y'all can use any kind of cursive-y type of bold font you like. Let me see if I can find another one in here that you may have. I'm not sure. What's a good standard one to use? You could probably try using blah blah blah. Sorry. Brush script. That's a very standard cursive font, so maybe try that one. But guys, you can go to dafont.com and download cursive fonts of such, and they're still pretty awesome. So go find one that you like and use it, and yeah. Alright, I just have gray as my color for my font, but that's not going to really matter much because we're going to edit that anyway. Now to really edit this, we're going to need to use a smart object layer. So go ahead and right-click your text layer and create a smart object. Now if you were going to type your text, like a sentence or whatever, you'll want to do each word on a separate layer and a separate smart object layer. It just makes for easy typography if you're doing it that way. Like if you want to have it so that one part of it's small, one part is bigger, it's best to put it all on separate layers. But if you're just doing one word, like I'm doing JazzedTutorials, I'm going to put the word jazz and the word tutorials on two separate layers, but you guys do it if you want. It's whatever's easiest and looks nicer to you. So now that we have it in a smart object, we're going to double click the smart object, and that's the thumbnail right here. When you double click that, it'll say something something, click OK, and that's going to let you edit that in a separate window. So when you double click this, it's going to let you edit this in a separate window. Mine's already edited, and you'll notice how I already have a glittery thing to it. Now here's where the glitter part comes in. This is going to be up to you guys. You want to open a glitter texture color that you would enjoy. So go to Google. I'll just show you briefly how to do this, even though it's simple, but y'all are going to want to know. Just type in glitter texture on Google, and you're going to get a bunch of these random colors here. Pick something that you like out of any of this here, or anything. Or type in a specific glitter color that you want to use. Blue glitter, red glitter, I don't care. So type that in, open that image into Photoshop on a new document. Mine says United 1, but that's probably whatever. Once you've opened the glitter texture that you want to use, you're going to want to go to Edit, and you're going to hit Define Pattern. You're going to save that image as a pattern so that when you make the glitter effect, you'll have that as a pattern and not as a JPEG file. So now double click on duplicate that text layer first of all, because you want to have two separate layers. We're going to start with the first layer, which is the top one. We'll go with the bottom one momentarily. So start with a bevel and emboss setting, and you want to use an inner bevel style with the technique of chisel hard. Your depth can stay at 100%, that's cool, and the direction can as well. Size is 5, and that is fine. Global light and all that can stay the same. You're going to change your gloss contour, however, to the double rings. This is a standard contour, FYI. If it's not there in your Photoshop version, it's definitely there. Just load it in your presets and you're good to go. Check off anti-aliased because you'll need that. Your highlight mode, however, is going to change to vivid light. with an opacity of 100%. It's going to give it that nice white little glare to it. Then we're going to go down here to multiply for your shadow mode, and opacity will be 50% on that. Sorry about that. Next, we're going to add a contour, and this is going to be this one right here. It's cone inverted, and again, check anti-aliased on that, and your range should say 50%. And next, we're going to go and add a texture to our bevel and emboss, and this is going to be your pattern that you just made, so your glitter pattern. So click your glitter pattern, and you'll see it there. Make sure that your scale is 100% and that your depth is 100% as well. Then move on down to the words pattern overlay, and obviously you're going to use your glitter pattern for this. So click the glitter pattern, select your blend mode as vivid light, and add a 10% scale to that. Opacity obviously 100%. And then we're going to add a small little drop shadow, and the drop shadow you may have to edit depending upon your font, because the drop shadow is going to be white, and it might show up a lot more on one particular font versus another font. So definitely change the opacity on this one to suit the liking of your font choice. So I'm using a vivid light blend mode with a white drop shadow, 100% opacity, but again, like I just said, you can change that to suit your needs. And 120-degree angle, use global light, 2 for your distance, and spread 0, and size is 2. We're going to add a noise of 5% just because noise equals glitter and glitter equals awesome. Alright, so click OK once you've got that. Now we have to add yet another drop shadow, but on our second layer. So below your top layer, you're going to have a drop shadow setting. And we're going to use this here. It's going to be multiply black, and then 25% opacity, negative 45-degree angle. Make sure use global light is not checked off. We don't want light on this layer. 3 for your distance, 0 for your spread, and 8 for your size. And we're going to add a 5% noise on this one too, just because we can. Definitely click OK. And to make this save onto your previous document, just X out of it. It's going to say, hey, do you want to save this or do you not? You definitely want to click save, otherwise these settings will not show up in your document that you have before. So do that, and you should see something like that, and it should blend in sort of nicely into that photo. So you'll notice how my photo is edited. Now, I know some of you are wondering, well, could you just go ahead and do a style and not do the whole smart object thing? I actually did try it that way, and for some reason, the image looked a bit different than it was supposed to, or than it did when I smart objected the thing. I did it both ways to see the difference, and definitely there was a difference, in my opinion, but y'all might say no, so whatever, but definitely use it as a smart object. It works out better that way. And then for each additional word you're using in your particular document, definitely do the same steps as before, and you should see something like that. Alright, now, last but not least, for some reason my texture was way too dark, or needed something to it. So I've added a curves adjustment layer to that, but y'all might not need to, and that's totally fine. But just in case you do need to add that extra contrast or what you have you, double click it, and you'll want to add a middle dot. Is that what you call it in here? I just call it a dot, a segment, whatever the fuck that's called. Middle dot into the center, and your output should be 125, or your input rather should be 125, and your output should say something like 80. Yeah, so 125 for your input in the middle, and 80 for your output there. And your top and your bottom and top should just stay where they are. And you'll see something like that with a nice contrast, and there you have it. So that is how I make glitter embossed text effect. If you guys definitely like this video, do hit subscribe. I'm trying to keep this channel awesome for you guys. If you have any suggestions for future videos, or if you see something on the web you want me to try and recreate for you in a Photoshop video, also hit me up in my inbox or in the comments below too, whichever you feel you'd like to do. I'm always up for suggestions. If you want to send me like a link to a texture and say, hey, do something with it, you can do that too. I've had people send me random files and say, hey, make something out of this, and I can do that for you. So thank you guys for watching, subscribing if you do. If you don't subscribe, you're missing out on a lot of cool stuff that people see when they're subscribed. Definitely hit like because you know this is a video that you want to see again, or something like that. So thanks for watching, and before I bore you to tears with this mumbling and what have you, I'm going to say goodbye. Definitely check me out on social media. All links are below in the description. And I'll see you guys next week, because I'm not... Wait a minute. I might not see you next week. I am going on a lovely vacation in the wilderness, so I will have no internet whatsoever, so there'll be no video next week. But if you want to see a vlog, I could possibly make that happen too. It just won't be posted till like a few days later. Alright guys, bye!